Greetings and welcome to Causeless Joy Tarot. Today we are here to do a reading for the sign of Scorpio for the month of November 2017. Today I'm using the Gilded Tarot deck by Ciro Marchetti, as well as Doreen Virtue's Archangel Oracle deck for our guidance card here. So let's go ahead and get started with your reading for the month of November, Scorpio. Let me just start by wishing you all a very happy birthday. This is your birthday month, and as an added gift for the birthday sign, I always do a 3-card reading at the end of your regular reading for a yes/no question. All right, so if you're interested in that, do stick around to the end to check that 3-card reading out. So let's get started here. Calling on my guides, teachers, helpers, all that loves and surrounds me and the sign of Scorpio, asking for crystal clear clarity, wisdom, and vision as we look at the energy coming in for the sign of Scorpio in the month of November 2017. Giving thanks in advance to all that is for perfect wisdom, perfect vision, and perfect clarity. Looking at the energy for Scorpio for November 2017. Just keep shuffling here until I feel that I am complete with the shuffle. Also, if you would like more insight on your reading, you can look up your rising sign or your moon sign. Take a look at that reading as well to give you some additional insight there. God grant us the serenity to accept the things we cannot change, courage to change the things we can, and the wisdom to know the difference. Looking at the energy for November 2017 for the sign of Scorpio. All right, Scorpio, that feels pretty good there. Let's go ahead and give a cut. And let's take a look at your cards. I am doing a 7-card spread for the month of November. And we'll talk about the cards as we move through the reading here. All right, so you do have the Queen of Pentacles coming up in the reverse as your overall energy in the month of November. Now, this Queen of Pentacles upright, she's a master of getting things done. She's a master of finding the resources. She's very resourceful and has the ability to really generate the income and the resources that she needs to get things done. Now, this is coming up in the reverse for Scorpio in the month of November, indicating that there may be some sense of money being tighter than what you're normally used to it being. And we'll take a look here at the rest of your cards and see if we can really get some more insight into why this Queen of Pentacles is coming in the reverse as your overall energy there. All right, so let's take a look at the rest of your cards then. Here we have in your past, we have the moon coming up in the reverse. And I'm almost done with my readings for the month of November. And this is the first time I've seen the moon come out. So, you know, the moon is all about your emotions. It's a very watery energy, and you can see those dogs there just howling at the moon. We know that big full moons have the potential to impact how we're being and how our emotions are how they're showing up for us in that moment. So here again with the moon in the reverse in your past position, that tells me that perhaps there have been some things or people or events or whatever that have really impacted your emotional state, and almost to the degree of, making you feel like bad or negative about either that person or that situation or that circumstance. So let's continue on with the rest of your cards and see what else we have coming in here for you. So in the current position, meaning whenever you're catching this video, this Page of Cups is coming in. This page is a very youthful energy. It is an energy, again, attached to those emotions. This is a cup energy. So again, it's all about messages that come in that impact the way you're feeling. All right, so be open and mindful of those messages. I don't get the impression that these messages will, be like the moon coming in the reverse, where I did feel some sense that those emotions may have been they may not have been very pleasant to have to deal with. So but here I'm not picking this up with the Page of Cups. This is all about being open to receive messages that change the way you feel, and these could very much well indeed be good messages. All right, so next up, look what we have here. We have the Death card coming up for Scorpio in the future. Now, what that means is that you're going to be faced with some transformation, with perhaps some decisions or some, even I'm feeling now that this may not be something decisions that you're personally making, right? For instance, as an example here, if a company closed down, if they closed their doors and they became insolvent and went belly up and had to close their doors, that would be a change that you didn't personally implement or institute. You're more so a recipient of a change like that. And notice that I didn't say victim there, because the victim mindset is really overrated. Okay, the victim mindset is not a mindset that's going to bring about any sort of joy for us. It's only going to cause guilt, pain, and more intense suffering. So it's not about being a victim of anything or anyone. It's about being on the receiving end of what's happening in your life, and then being receptive and remaining open and flexible as you move through those changes. So here again, we do have a big transformation coming in for Scorpio in the very near future. So something to keep in mind there. Now, as your current outlook on the world, and I was chuckling, this card has come out a ridiculous number of times in the month of November. It makes me think that, everyone is dealing with this sense of needing to make a decision and not having everything readily available or accessible for you to be able to do that in a very comfortable and effective way. So here we have how you're seeing the world. This Two of Swords is coming in the reverse. So that really speaks to me of, number one, of duality, of two polar opposites needing to find a common ground, find some balance, and allow things to shape up in the way that they're supposed to. So here again, this Two of Swords in the reverse is really indicative that, these decisions, the things that need to happen, the changes that need to come about. We just talked about this future transformation that's in store for Scorpio. So, perhaps, being in a position where you don't have everything. I know the unknown can be kind of scary sometimes when we don't know exactly what's going to happen. But I also write in a blog as well, and I've written about that recently, where we can't feel a cup that's already full, right? Nothing else can get in. So this empty place of not knowing is actually, in many instances, the best possible position to be in. Know that. All right, so next up we have your external influences. And in the external influence position, what's impacting you, what's coming in from the world, we have the King of Swords coming up in the reverse. Again, feeling the need to remind Scorpios that the energy of thoughts are very powerful, very compelling, and that it's very important for us to always remember that we are the masters of our thoughts and not the other way around. Our thoughts are not who we are. Okay, so this King of Swords is a master of his thoughts. It is coming up in the reverse as an external influence. So that tells me that, you know, things that are going on around you may impact the way you feel. We just talked about that, you know, with the Page of Cups here, about messages coming in that impact the way you feel. Here we're talking about the way you think. And we all know that the way we think and the way we feel are very closely related. I've heard it said that depression is, you know, that people are not really depressed per se. It's just that they're not able to override or overcome those thoughts. And granted, some of that is a chemical imbalance that people just don't have any control over. And absolutely, sometimes, you know, medication and, you know, things of that nature may be very helpful for individuals. But here again, we have this external influence, this reminder from Spirit today that to monitor the way you're allowing your thoughts to impact how you're feeling. So next up we have another 2 coming in for the sign of Scorpio. It's the 2 of Pentacles, and this is coming in as an internal influence. This is all about how you're really perceiving, you know, yourself. It's your driving force. It's really what's pushing you along your path here. So again, 2s are about duality, about looking at both ends of sometimes the same stick, you know, looking at both viewpoints, considering, balancing out the viewpoints of other people who are involved around you. So, you know, just a strong reminder here to always be considerate of the viewpoints of others. You know, it doesn't mean that you have to run with their viewpoint or adopt their viewpoint as your own. It simply means that they need the exact same space that you require to express your viewpoint. All right? So, as your final outcome card here, which this final outcome card does sum up the remaining the 3 cards that we just talked about your worldview, your current perspective, and your internal and external influences. So here we have a card that summarizes those last 3 cards we talked about. This Ace of Pentacles is coming up in the reverse. One thing that I'm drawn to right away on this Ace of Pentacles is the full moon behind the pentacle there. It brings me back to the moon that you pulled with your past card, right? And as an outcome card, and we also talked about, we've been talking a lot about emotions here and how events and circumstances impact the way you're feeling and the way you're thinking. So this ace does signify a new beginning, which was also signified with the death, the transformation card here. So we do have some new changes coming on board for Scorpios in the month of November. This ace is coming up in the reverse, which also indicates that there could be a few starts and stops, maybe some bumps in the road as you progress towards your goal or whatever this new beginning is for you. So again, the reminder here is absolutely to remain open, flexible and receptive to not only what you're desiring, but I'm feeling for the people that are closest to you as well, to be very receptive to their perceptions as well as yours. Again, we can't expect from anyone what we're not willing to give ourselves. So if we are looking for acceptance in the world, if we're looking for others to accept our position and our point of view on various items, then we have to be more than willing to do the same for them. All right, so that does conclude the reading, your main portion of your reading for the month of November. And let's go ahead and close the reading out now with one additional guidance card from Doreen Virtue's deck. Again, this is my oldest deck. I've been working with this deck for about 10 years. So the archangels communicate with me very effectively with this deck by letting me know. I typically don't have to pull a card from the deck. One will automatically come out as we wrap up this reading for the sign of Scorpio. So, calling on the archangels, asking for one additional guidance card for the sign of Scorpio for the month of November. Looking for one additional guidance card as we patiently shuffle through the deck from the archangels. There we go. And you can already see what your card is there, Scorpio. You are definitely safe. Archangel Michael is saying, I'm protecting you against lower energies and guarding you, your loved ones, and your home. So definitely a very comforting message coming in from Archangel Michael here. I did pick up a lot of emotional energy, a lot of changes that may be in store for the sign of Scorpio, but to know that you're safe through those changes is a wonderful gift from Archangel Michael. All right. So that does conclude the main portion of your reading. And as I stated at the beginning, because you are the birthday sign this month, we are going to do a 3-card yes/no question for you now. And the deck that I'll be using for the 3-card spread is going to be my Kipper deck, which is the Fin de Sickle Kipper deck, which is actually by Ciro Marchetti as well, a very famous and fabulous artist and designer of cards. So you'll want to get a yes or no question in your mind. Hold that question in your mind. Maybe something that you're looking for an answer to, or that you've been pondering recently and that you're looking for some additional guidance on. I'm going to flip over 3 cards. So I'd like you to pick a number right now between 1 and 3. You hold your number in mind as well as your question, and we'll see what the cards have to say. Now, interestingly enough, these cards lately have been giving me, when I do these birthday readings, it'll give me a definite yes, a definite no, and then, you know, a possibility card. So we'll see how it goes this time if we get definite answers here. All right, so that's going to be okay right there. So, again, pick a number between 1 and 3. And then we're going to see. So if you pick number 1, ooh, the answer is no. There is a message of concern. So whatever your question was, I'm picking up a no here. This could also indicate that whatever your question is, there's some concern, obviously, on your part about the question. So I'm calling this one a no if you picked number 1. If you picked number 2, the answer is yes. Your pathway is clear. You are moving in the right direction. You can see that light at the end of this pathway here. So you are definitely heading in the right direction. The answer is yes. And if you picked number 3, there is a woman involved in your question in some way, shape, or form. This woman is going to really shed some light on what your concern or what your question is. So, and if this is applicable to you, you already know who this woman is, or you have an idea about who this individual is. So, reach out to that person and make your concern known to her, and she's actually going to be the one to help you to get the answers that you're looking for. All right, so you see what I mean? There's always a clear yes, a clear no, and then there's this one card. There's always this one card that either has a message attached, a person attached, or maybe a if, and, but, or maybe attached. All right, so there you go, Scorpio. There's your 3-card birthday reading for the month of November. Again, I wish you well in the month of November and a very happy holiday season. And I will see you back here in the month of December. Namaste.